podcast, the subject of chemistry of life. And the essential question today is what are building blocks of organisms? So I will write it here. And from the last lesson, we learned that all creatures are made out of cells. So the cells could be the answer of today's essential question. But today we are going to get more deeper into cells. What are atoms and molecules? So what do you think atoms and molecules? Think about where you live. The streets are lined with many types of buildings, but these buildings are made out of a lot of same materials such as brick, glass, wood, and steel. Similarly, all cells are made from the same materials. The material and cells are made out of atoms that can join together to form molecules. There's another question there, and I think we found your answer in the paragraph. The atoms and molecules, and the atom is the smallest um, uh, atoms is the smallest thing, almost smallest thing in Earth, and it everything is made out of atoms, such as your hand, your handphone, or the computer you're staring at. So there's another little detail. Atoms are very small and everything is made out of it. Molecules are some atoms. So the answer could be atoms, molecules, or cells. And the building blocks or organisms are probably the smallest thing in all these seeds. In the next paragraph, it says that atoms are the building blocks of matter. The matter that you encounter every day, both living and non-living, is made out of basic particles called atoms. Not all atoms are the same. There are nearly 100 types of atoms that occur naturally on Earth. These different types of atoms are known as elements. Each element has a few properties. For example, oxygen is a colorless gas made out of oxygen atoms. For the elements, gold is a shiny metal made out of gold atoms. The six elements make up most of the human body. These and other elements are important for cell processes and all living things. So there's another clue here. Atoms are the building blocks of matter. So let's read the next paragraph. Molecules are made of two or more atoms. A molecule is a group of atoms that are held together by chemical bonds. For example, the molecule of water shown above is made out of one oxygen atom bound to two hydrogen atoms. If you separated the oxygen and hydrogen atoms, then you would no longer have water molecules. Some molecules are made out of only one type of atom. For example, of a molecule of oxygen gas is made of two or oxygen atoms. Other molecules contain different types of atoms. A substance made out of atoms or two or more elements joined by a chemical bond is called compound. Most of the molecules found in cells are also compounds. So we wrote this here. All creatures are made out of cells. Atoms, molecules are some atoms joined together, and we will add that one or two. For example, there is this water atom. Water molecules are made out of one oxygen atom and two hydrogen atoms. An example for this gold medal, it is made out of many gold atoms. A human body has trillions of cells made out of many different molecules. So let's go to the next page. Wait a minute, this doesn't go on. What are some important types of molecules in cells? Organisms need certain types of molecules for growth, repair, and other life processes. For example, organisms use nutrients such as pipets, protein, and carbohydrates for energy and as building materials. You get the nutrition from the food you eat. Nucleic acids are molecules that contain instruction for cell functions. Each of these types of molecules has a role in its cell processes. So there's this other question. It is about important types of molecules in cells. And the answer is in the paragraph. And as you see, the answer is that some important types of molecules in cells are lipids, proteins, and carbohydrates. Some of the So some of the most important molecules in cells are lipids, proteins, and carbohydrates and nucleic acids. Um, some of these words, especially lipids and proteins are some kinds of molecules you didn't know the name very often. So there are some paragraph saying some the properties and explaining it. A lipid is a fat molecule or a molecule that has similar properties. Lipids do not mix with water. They have many jobs in cells, such as storing energy. Fats and oils are lipids that store energy that organisms can use when they need it. Your cells get lipids from foods such as olive oil and fish. Waxes and steroids are other type of lipids. Proteins. A protein is a molecule made up of smaller molecules called amino acids. When you eat foods high in proteins, such as peanut butter and meat, the proteins are broken down into amino acids. Amino acids are now used to make new proteins. Proteins are used to build and repair body structures and regulate body processes. But proteins called enzymes help chemical processes happen in cells. Molecules that include sugars, starches, and fiber are called carbohydrates. Cells use carbohydrates as a source of energy and for energy storage. Cells break down carbohydrates to release the energy stored in them. Carbohydrates contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms. Simple carbohydrates, such as table sugar, are made of one sugar molecule or a few sugar molecules linked together. Complex carbohydrates, such as starch, are made out of many sugar molecules linked together. Pasta made from grains is a good source of complex carbohydrates. Nucleic acids. A nucleic acid is a molecule that carries information in cells. Nucleic acids are made of more smaller molecules called nucleotides. Deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA, is one type of nucleic acid that is found in cells. DNA contains the information that cells need to make molecules, such as a recipe. Each nucleotide tells the cell to order of amino acids needed to build a certain protein. So we see in proteins that the building blocks of proteins are amino acids. So let's read the next paragraph and find out what are phospholipids. All cells are surrounded by a cell membrane. The cell membrane helps protect the cell and keep the internal conditions of the cell stable. A lipid that contains precursors is called a phospholipid. Phospholipid form much of the cell membrane. The heterophilic molecule is attracted to water. The tail repels water or pushes it away. Because there is water inside and outside the cell, the phospholipids form a double layer. One layer lines up so that the head faces the outside of the cell. The second layer of phospholipids line up so the heads face the inside of the cell. The tails from both layers face each other, forming the middle of the cell membrane. Molecules such as the water are regulated into and out of a cell through the cell membrane. So a phospholipid is something that phospholipids form much of a cell membrane. That's what a phospholipid is. You know, it's kind of hard to say. Much of the cell membrane. That's one more fact. We have 5 facts now. And for the next paragraph, let's see why the water is so important to our human body. Why is water important? Many cell processes require water, which makes up to nearly 2/3 of the mass of the cell. Thus, water is an important nutrient for life. Water moves through the cell membrane by a process called osmosis. Osmosis depends on the concentrations of the water inside and outside of the cell. Pure water has the highest concentration on water molecules. If the water concentration inside the cell is lower than the water concentration outside the cell, then the water will move into the cell. If the environment outside the cell has low concentration of water, such as in a salty solution, water will move out of the cell. Losing too much water can cause a cell to shrivel and die. The right balance of water allows a cell to function normally. If too much water enters the cell, it may swell up and burst. So, there's why water is important. Water, the water is important because it takes 2/3 of it takes most of the mass in the cell. because most of the cell So we have now 6 parts. So next we will read the next page. Yeah, that was the last page. Now I think we should so let's get this all tidied up. All creatures are made out of cells. That gets 1 to our there could be a cell. And there are atoms and molecules. Atoms lipids, proteins, and carbohydrates and nucleic acids are some types of molecules, so that doesn't count. Phospholipids could be. Phospholipids are also a type of molecules. Water is also a type of molecules. So let's get this straight. Let's check out the wrong things first. Cells are made out of molecules, so it doesn't count. Molecules are made out of 2 or more atoms, so that doesn't count too. Atoms could be right, because atoms are the smallest thing. So I think it's number 2, atoms. So the answer of today's essential question. Let's write it in a sentence. Atoms are the building blocks of organisms. So today's lesson is over, and I do hope you will look over the third lesson. And I'm also doing another on grammar and vocabulary, so I would like to appreciate if you visited there too. Bye.